question Greg said to ask. And we'll talk about your current clients, family, friends, and all that. The number one question. Hey, Chris, have you ever heard of LifeLock? Now, most people have heard of it, yes? Here's what they might say. Have you ever heard of LifeLock? Yes. But they might say, I haven't. Really? And then, if you could save money and get more benefits, would you want to learn about that? You going to be around later? I like telling people, I found some stuff out. So have you ever heard of LifeLock? Kevin Labrie, our upline RVP, Kevin had it. He said, just so you know, he paid for it for the year. And he said when he switched, LifeLock sent them a refund. He said even if some people paid for like the month, there's only 10 days in or something, they got a refund. So just FYI, if you happen to have someone that has LifeLock, get them over this. This is a better product. So, have you ever heard of LifeLock?
Yes.
Next one. Do you know your credit score? Your most recent credit score.
I didn't quite get that.
She didn't quite get it. Do you know your credit score? So Kim's got her phone under her thing. I said, okay, do you know your credit score? Ask the questions. This is another big one you can use. It's a recruiting thing. We'll get into that. Do you know anyone who had their identity ever stolen? You know anybody had their identity stolen? I'm curious. Raise your hand, whether yourself or someone else. Raise your hand if you know anyone ever had their identity stolen. Look at the freaking room, you guys. I hope it wasn't yours.
Addie was mine.
Addie was your daughter. Arlene knows somebody really well, and so does Denise. Look, his mom, Babette, twice. Dave, you too?
One of the guys I was trying to recruit.
So now think about it. If they had that, it would solve the problem. So when you work across the KT, you're gonna have people go, yeah. And here's the thing. Do you know this is what I put in for my deal. Do you know that the Federal Trade Commission says the amount of time to fix the problem is about 200 hours? Hey Dave, do you want to be on the phone with companies for 200 hours in Social Security to fix your identity? Or like nightmare, right? Sir?
Just FYI on that, if it's the IRS, like it happened to me, you have to go to the IRS office and you get there 9 in the morning, and like 5:30 you're sweating bullets because if they close the window at 5:30, even if you're in there all day, you got to come back the next day. I had to go there 3 days.
People check in, but they don't check out.
We were blessed. We had a miracle. We had a custodial account that we paid a $12 liability on, and outside of that, I think the IRS is like, well, we just sent out a return. What's this $12 check? But it could have taken a year to resolve.
Do you understand? Y'all sometimes like, here's the point. Just have it. Like my clients need it. I need it. I mean, we're in such a freaking crazy world. They talk about terrorist attack. It's like we're talking about like electronic terrorists. I mean, you watch crap on TV and they talk about it. Is that important? So, pretty big, right?
Yep.
Now watch this. This is one I use when we have debt watchers. Here's a question. How long should you project your identity for? My answer is forever.
Until your life insurance kicks in.
Well, yeah, till you're gone, exactly. And then you better make sure your kids have it, right? Oh, I'm sorry, my kids are on the planet if they're minors.
The fastest growing population of identity theft is 0 to 18. Just like they said with the 6-year-old, because they don't buy cars, they don't buy houses, and when you go to do something with them, oftentimes their credit is jacked up.
So wait, so if your kids are minors, are they on your plan for $22? Yes. So these are questions that you want to use when you're talking to people. See, look, a big part of this business, again, do you need to be competent? Absolutely. Look, there's a lot of people that are so excited about Primerica, but they're not competent. Then there are people that are competent, or they're pretty good, but they're not excited about it, and they don't talk to people. If you're competent and you're enthusiastic, you make a lot of money, you're growing a business. Yes, ma'am.
What if you're speaking to somebody about this, and they're actually going through those 200 hours, trying to restore theirs right now? Will they pick up the ball?
Here's a question.
Or does it have to be something that happens?
Great question, right? So my answer would be, well, first of all is, once you fix it, do you want your identity protected?
Of course.
So let's do that tonight. And then Jerry, remember the email address? Did everyone get that?
Yes.
Yeah.
You could shoot an email to him and ask him. Because again, this is new for me too.
Okay.
Let me know what they say.
Okay.
But you guys, isn't this important for people to have?
Yes.
So when you're talking to people, Greg, you know how we draw the financial house?
Yes.
When you know how we do draw it? Okay.
Yes.
And if you're new, make sure your trainer teaches you. Here's what Greg did. Fitzpatrick, I know you can't see this really well. When you do the roof, when I draw the roof, I write W for will, L for living will, and D for durable power of attorney, right?
Yeah.
I'm now going to say you got to take care of those things, but also what I found out in this world today, Chris, you know anybody have their identity stolen? And I'm going to start that dialogue with the client, and we have a way to take care of everything. Is that important? Absolutely. So you know you're going to write that up. It's like a no-brainer. It's like, look, life insurance to me is the thing that I'm the most urgent with, because look, we don't know like tomorrow if we're going to wait. I mean, we don't know. But could also at 1 o'clock in the morning while we're sleeping, someone steal our identity?
Yes.
So when you draw in the house, when you talk about a will, living will, power of attorney, just say, and something else, David, that I think is so important in today's world, we need to protect our identity. Let me ask you a question, Dave. Do you know have you ever heard of LifeLock? First question. Have you ever heard of LifeLock? Most people have. But I'll say, do you know anyone ever had their identity stolen? Yes or no? But then I can talk about the stats. What do you say? Every 2 seconds? What is it? Every 72 seconds?
2 seconds.
Every 2 seconds, an identity gets stolen, right? Is that crazy? We've been here for 15 minutes, and think about that. So guys, you can take care of these right away, right? So, now, on the new presentation, you know the regular presentation we do, our 6-page presentation? I mean, you've been seeing us use the 6-page, right? Well, the new ones, you might want to order the new ones. It's not like a deal breaker, but the 6-page presentation, they just added, Joe's going to put it up there. Let me just show you the difference. Jerry was the one that brought to my attention. Excuse me. I'll come up in just a sec. Okay. So on the presentation, notice one thing right down here. First of all, under Primerica Legal Protection, identity theft defense. So when you're talking to people, just as a normal conversation during a presentation, I'll say, "Hey, Dave, have you ever heard of LifeLock?" Just normal stuff. Hey, you know me, identity. Now, I'm not going to spend 40 minutes here, but I'm going to create the dialogue right there. I'll say, I have a product for my family that protects me up to $5 million. Okay, so that's that right there. And then there's some other little things on there, right? You don't have to really, but the life insurance, they tweaked it a little bit. You know, the quote, the whole life and term. But the main thing is right here, right? So we can talk about that. Okay, you can kill that, bro. Let's go back to the Elmo, please. Okay, so what do? Well, you buy a race car. No, I'm just kidding. But a couple things. Number one is, who do I talk to? See, I learned with Primerica, we lead with recruiting. We know all of that. We're going to touch on that as we wrap up tonight. But what I learned is you got to get in the house. You got to get an appointment. How do you get an appointment? And when you're new, I'm in training, I need your help. That's the way you do it. And you get tons of appointments like that. But when you got people, a lot of us have been, raise your hand if you've been with Primerica more than 6 months. More than 6 months. Look at the room. If I said, how many appointments you got in the next 3 days? I hope you don't look at my appointment book. I remember sitting in a meeting when Fitzpatrick would say that, I'm like, oh crap, it's my appointment, my dog ate my homework, it's in the appointment books in the car, right? But there's a lot of people you can go back and call, and it's look, people buy based on emotion, they justify with logic. That's a fact. So you call someone up tomorrow, you can go back and call relatives that maybe you haven't met with, or they didn't become a client. You can go back, old recruits, not like old, I'm talking about people that they're not doing the business. And when you're talking to people, you got to say, hey, Jerry, hey, can you talk to me for a minute? Yeah, can I ask you a question? Have you ever heard of LifeLock? Well, yeah, I haven't. Really? Well, check it out. I was in a class last night We have a product that's way less expensive and covers more. Dude, I got to come over and see you right away. You going to be around later? I'm just trying to get in the house. Once I get in the house, then I can talk about the extra money, reselling the dream or whatever, right? That's what you, now, an older recruit, you can have somebody, existing clients, you go through your client base. A lot of us have clients, been around a while. You know, when we did our investment workshop back in October, I went through a lot of my clients, right? And just an example, I know they're not here now, Joe's taking this testimony, but Sharon and Joe, okay, came to an event. Rick and Kathy, would you raise your hand, please? Okay, Rick and Kathy and Jimmy. Okay, because I invited them, Kathy is licensed, Rick's licensed this week, and Jamie will be licensed in the next couple weeks. Sharon's licensed, Joe's licensed tomorrow. So what if you just called people back and you're enthused about something? You call them and go, I gotta come see, check, I just found some stuff out. Hey, check this out, I was in this class last night. Did you know every 2 seconds some people's identities are stolen? I gotta come by and see you. And you start generating some activity. Go through, call your clients. All of our clients, guys, don't have this. A few of them have debt watchers. But we can go through our client base and call all those clients. We can call all recruits. You just got to take that initiative and just go after it. I'll say to people, it's not a hard sale, my goodness. I mean, people, is this more of a need or more of a want? I think it's a need. When we ask people to raise your hand, like everybody pretty much knew someone had their identity stolen, if not you or your family. So it's a need. So look, with legal, you guys, I've had stuff happen where clients called legal, and I'm so glad I took care of them, got to do their legal. I'm their guy. If they're not a recruit, even if they are a recruit, even more importantly, I'm their guy. So, I took care of that. If now they're our client, you know what's crazy? We may never know, but if they were protected, but they didn't have their identity stolen because Abner went ahead and took care of them. Right? Can you not recruit with that?
Yeah.
See, I can recruit. Man, anything good, I can recruit to it. Because it's good. It's good stuff. I'm going to own it in a couple hours. I'm excited about Jerry teaching me how to use the app. But in all seriousness, the app, did you see all, like, really, you download the app and it has a credit score and all, it's right there. How about, isn't it cool that there's some kind of alert, you click on it and then you can call them right there?
Yes. Debt Watchers doesn't offer that.
Yeah, but I mean, Debt Watch has $1 million identity theft. This, you get $5 million. But I really believe if you just start taking action and calling people, it doesn't matter. Look, I've recruited people. I talked about the IRAs. Example, Jerry talked about the IRAs earlier. This is something I learned from one of our vendors. I'm trying to remember the gentleman's name. He was with Legg Mason. He's since retired. But I was in New York City 10 years ago, and I was in the boardroom at Legg Mason, and the gentleman, gosh, I can't remember his name. He was in a taxi. And he was talking to the driver. He said, "Young man, can I ask you a question?" "Sure." "Do you have a Roth IRA?" And the guy goes, "What's a Roth IRA?" He says, "So I'm assuming you don't have one." "Young man, did you know by not having a Roth IRA, that is potentially one of the biggest financial tax mistakes you will make in your lifetime? Did you know that?" Now, if you guys don't, if you qualify for a Roth and you don't have one, it didn't change what I just said. Dave, do me a favor. Can you go to the Primerica app for a minute? Yeah. Dave's like really fast with that. Let me prove some. And so this, I know you may not have your securities license. I've got appointments like that. If you raise your hand if you have your securities license. I'm sorry, raise your hand. And in the next 90 days, raise your hand if you're gonna have it. Okay? You know we give you $400, right? And we pay for it. Okay, so, Dave, do me a favor, brother. Let me know when you're in. Are you in? Okay, because the internet's awesome. Well, the mice are running fast. Give them a minute. So check this out. While Dave's loading, all I want you to do is, y'all pay attention. I want you to take I want to take $5,500 a year, use 9%, which equity and income's done better than that. $5,500 for 30 years. Let me know when you're done, and then you let me know the numbers. So I'm going to talk to people about anything to get an appointment. I lead with recruiting. But getting in the house is the biggest issue. Our